Carl, not a dog person.
He is a dog person. He just doesn't like to have his groin nuzzled in his sleep at night. At least.
That's not what I've heard.
At least not by Gladys.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Andrew Trendle. You're watching NME. We're here today with Peter Doherty, and this is Gladys.
Good afternoon.
Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you, Andrew.
Thank you. You feeling festive?
Yeah, I suppose so. You know, we got the babby, and we're going to be spending Christmas with the family, so it's all around the tree and the stuffing, and I get into all that anyway. I think you know, it's nice to see all the, just like pottering about London today, between promo jobs, seeing all the office parties having their Christmas dues, everyone letting their hair down and their guard down maybe.
Didn't fancy gate crashing any?
Yeah, no, I was invited over, do you know what I mean, for a few drunken selfies. Not me drunk, by the way, the office parties. But it's interesting. I think it is one of the last things now in this sort of dissipating society we live in, these end times. It is one of the things that brings out the better side of people. You know, that idea of peace on earth is obviously null and void this year, but I think goodwill is something that I don't see it as a corny or cliche thing. I believe in community, I believe in charity, and I believe in goodwill up to a point. And so this coming together for whatever reason, it helps break down borders, of all kinds. I mean, at heart, it's a Christian festival, but it's not really, is it?
No.
It's more than that. It's a time of giving and communion in lots of different ways. So yes, I am feeling a bit festive, and I'm looking forward to having a bit of time off. To us, it's been a long old slog this year.
Yeah.
We had the Libertines album come out. I think I'm right in saying in March.
Yeah, it's been a long old year.
And it was commercially successful, so everyone was buzzing about that. But at the same time, the band seemed to come together, and like as a band, as a musical force, we've had moments of unity, probably unparalleled. But as mates, just as mates, and as a family, I think it was our best time, really.
Yeah. Well, last time we spoke, Carl described it as the first time you were all truly facing in the same direction. Did that kind of continue into the tour? A lot of harmony, a lot of goodwill?
Yeah. I mean, there was a certain point, and obviously Gladys comes everywhere with me, but I do have another dog. And at a certain point when he came on tour, I was actually banned from the band bus. One baby, a wife and 2 dogs was too much, so I was put on the crew bus. But you know what? The crew bus is... You can swear on enemy, can't you? Yeah. The crew bus is a fucking cool place to be. And I don't want them to be any place they're not welcome.
Yeah.
It wasn't they're not welcome, it's just that she likes to know where she is. So she'll have a little sniff around at night to see in whose bunk, and that was too much. That was too much for Carl, but...
Carl, not a dog person.
He is a dog person. He just doesn't like to have his groin nuzzled in his sleep at night. At least.
That's not what I've
heard. At least not by Gladys.
Sorry, I ruined that for you.
Yeah.
But Christmas is approaching, and the end of the year. We're now a quarter of the way through the 21st century. In the year 2000, where did you imagine you'd be in 25 years' time? Did you think you'd still be a libertine? Did you think you'd be a father? How did you foresee it?
I was a father back then. I mean, I got a 20-year-old son now, but I wasn't a hands-on father. I wasn't really there in many ways. So it's what I always wanted, I think. I always wanted a close-knit family that I was there with and for. I'm married as well and settled in a lot of ways. I suppose maybe I'm wrong. I think that's what a lot of people want, isn't it, really? That sort of nest and a loving environment. I don't know if I dared to dream it was possible. I don't know, I think at that time, turn of the century, 2025 seemed a hell of a long way off.
Yeah.
And I think we imagined it was all going to be hover cars and lifesavers, I don't know. which probably do exist, you know, but only for like the upper echelons of the American military.
Elon Musk's got one.
Yeah,
Probably.
of course he has. Yeah. But not round here. Where are we anyway? Angel.
Islington.
There's no hover cars in Angel.
Kensington, maybe, not Angel.
Well, it's like a lot of London though. I mean, Kensington obviously has very, very wealthy areas, but you know, my dad's from a council estate in Kensington. Yeah, 3rd Avenue off the Harrow Road. He doesn't live there anymore. Mm-hmm. I really wonder what I really thought of the future. I don't think I thought a lot about it. I think at that time in the early 2000s when we, in our sort of NME glory days, so there was no other way really to get you know, this was very early days of internet, sort of pre-website. The only thing the internet was used for was sort of very slow to upload forums, you know. You'd go down the internet cafe to use. You couldn't get it on your phone or anything.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have dared dream really that I'd still be knocking about and making music, but that would have been the ideal vision. Yeah. I don't know. Nothing changed. I mean, it's interesting tonight. You said Weller and Primal Screen are doing a pro-Palestine gig.
Yeah.
That would be, in one way, it'd be beautiful to see that someone like Bobby Gillespie has stayed true to his principles that he always had. But in another way, it's sad that it would still be necessary to have to fight for that point of view. So to know 25 years ago that Palestine was probably in a more fucked state than ever with what's happening, it's basically, it's been blitzed.
Yeah.
It's been razed to the ground, and then it's fucked. And the people like terrorised and genocide, basically, they're talking about. So what a mess there. But then you mentioned Kneecap. That would have probably piqued my curiosity to know that there's like something an Irish fucking rap, like a mob of rappers from Ireland called Kneecap who wear like tricolor balaclavas on stage. That would have been interesting. Yeah. But 25 years ago, they probably were like toddlers or something, or maybe not born. And I could have like, if I'd known about that, I could have nicked the whole idea and done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, done some freestyle in Gaelic. Just basically would be able to say 1,000 welcomes a lot. Yeah. But there you go. Yeah, good lads, huh? Really talented. Like a lot of these acts coming out of Ireland this year. It's been amazing. Junior Brother, have you heard him? He's doing some weird like psychedelic folk incantation stuff, but at the same time he can obviously write a song. I think he's trying to be melodic, but then he just goes off into these mad like right there, and he's got the mandolin and the drummer who also plays the part, and Lisa O'Neill as well, who's on Rough Trade, not to promote a rival label, obviously Strap Originals, but Lisa O'Neill is again just this folk, very poetic, very lyrical in that way that the Irish do so well, almost, well, I said it just now, but almost pagan-like. There's this very, I don't know if you know, as an Irish poet, post-war poet, I mean, she's long dead, but Madge Herron, she plotted up in Kentish Town and would, I don't know, she was quite known for hoarding and looking after stray dogs, but she also wrote these amazing poems, and she tapped into a similar thing. There's something very earthy about it, and obviously we're living in a digital age, you know, where everything's, you know, AI, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who I think who still feel or long to have this connection with the woods.
Have you heard of Gurriers?
Gurriers, no.
Really spicy, spiky Irish punk, but like not you've heard.
Yeah, and of course Fontaines DC. I mean, obviously they're very well known now, but
I think they're the best band in the world.
You do?
I would say so.
Wow. Yeah, they got a few tunes, haven't they? Yeah, I heard that. I was listening to them in the car actually, as I was doing the rounds in the village the other day. I listened to Starburster, and it was really, and somehow it had passed me by. I knew about it, but I hadn't actually heard it. But I listened to it all the way through a couple of times, and it was just, it's a belt of a tune. Yeah.
Well, so you did that single with Benefits as well. That was amazing. New music-wise, what else is on your radar?
Well, with the label, there's a lot of listening being done. Not so much by me, but by me and my, and our lot in Strap. We've got quite a dedicated team who are just always like search, looking for things, and the people we've picked up and have supported and managed to release their stuff, they're the people we believe in, who I'd talk about if you give me the chance. So we got Dutch, I suppose it's punk. I'd call it rock and roll, but I don't know. I'm not a music journalist, but they're called Real Farmer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're pretty cool. They're like strong songs, but there's also, I think there's maybe a few mental health issues going on there. I don't know. He seems quite angry, that fella. Pre-Goblin, Alex Sebley. We released an album of his. I mean, it didn't sell many physical copies, but I'll never know why, because it's just gorgeous, like achingly beautiful songs, strong songs. There's 2 or 3 songs on there that I think David Bowie would have been proud to have written and released, yeah. And an Irish folk singer called Thomas Irwin. Unfortunately, I think he's got like personality-wise, he hasn't hit it off with other people in the label, which is a shame because he's got some great songs. But yeah, there's been like fisticuffs at dawn with him and the management, which is a shame because I really wanted like the rest of the label to believe in him, get behind him, but he's as obstinate as they are, and they've sort of clashed. So now I don't know what's going to happen with him. But he wrote a song. He was a busker actually. I heard when I first met him, he was busking, and we became mates. And then I saw him years later outside. I was playing a gig in Cologne about a year and a half ago, or Hamburg it was. No, Hamburg. Yeah, it was on the Reeperbahn. And he said, I said, Thomas, how you doing? You still living in Germany? He went, yeah, I'm still busking around and that. And he's got 3 young daughters, and he's literally hand to mouth. But he had played me a couple of his new songs that he'd written, and that night I got him up to support me, and then brought him over back to the UK to support me and the Libertines. And we released an EP of his called Born a County Antrim Boy, it's called. And he's got a song called Belfast is Gonna Burn, which is just a belter, it's just stunking. But again, we didn't manage to sell many physical copies. I mean, literally, I was going round, when he supported the Libertines in Belfast, I was going around with the box saying, get your EPs, and they were flying out there, but I probably sold as many by hand as we did online. It's a hard graft out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's all about streaming.
Well,
but I can't get my head around the streaming because I don't have a phone and I'm not online. Obviously we've got a social media department, but I'm not part of that. So I'm starting a fanzine. So I'm going to try and reignite a, what's the opposite of digital?
Analog.
I'm going to try and reignite an analog, people's front of analogia.
Yeah.
So my fanzine's coming out, it's called On Strap. It's coming out in January. And in edition 1 of On Strap, there will be a PO box address where any contributors who believe in the written word still can send in their reviews, cartoons, dreams, crossword puzzles. And so look out for that. I'm going to be selling it outside the venue before the Libertine shows in Europe in February. And it's going to be strictly on paper. So we'll see how long that lasts.
Staples and glue.
See how long I can keep it going before my manager convinces me to go online with it. What's
it like to run a label but have that kind of old school mentality? Because it's like...
I don't really run it. A lot of it's business stuff, and there's a weird amount of regulations and illegal things. So I part own it, and I was there at the inception because we had no one else to release the Puta Madre's album. But day-to-day running of it, I'm not involved with. Yeah. And it's got to the point now where I can't just say, we're going to sign this band, you know, we've got a team now. So it's quite democratic, but I'm very much a part of it. It's in my soul, it's in my blood. But I'm not the label boss.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like I'm a part owner, and I'm very invested in it. Maybe out of every 6 bands we sign, one of them will be a band that I've said we need to sign these. Yeah. But so far, each band that I've believed in has got drunk and fucking offered to fight the rest of the team.
But is there something? So 5 years of Straps this year. It's one thing to make music and be drawn to make music, and you seem like the sort of person that could only do this, but how does it feel to have given music a home in that sense? I
know, it's what we want to do. It's the dream, really. So many times over the years I've believed in bands and longed for them to make it and for lots of different reasons, nothing ever came of it. But managed to get them supporting the Libs, or supporting Shambles, or supporting me. But I was never able to actually take them to Rough Trade or take them to Parlophone and say, "You've got to sign this band."
Yeah.
But now I can. Now I can have more of an influence. You know what I mean? In giving someone a real platform, not just a stage. Some bands don't like playing live. Some bands aren't. Some songwriters, they're not cut out for that. They're not sort of fame hungry chances in the way we were. They just want to write and record their music, and if they haven't got that drive and connections and industry bods looking after them, then they will just disappear. You know, it's a bit like Alex Sebley. You know, he is an amazing songwriter, but he's not desperate to get out there and sell his ass on the corner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to be able to just put his music out is enough. You know what I mean? So that's really the dream, to create this infrastructure and do it. And now the label as an independent label, it's doing really well. You know what I mean? What we need now is, we want to stay independent, but it'd be nice if we could get a proper distribution deal, you know, so we could really help people get out there. So it's just a question then of whether or not it's selling out to work with corporations. And I don't think it is. As long as you maintain independence, I don't think there's any harm in using, because otherwise you're kind of fighting a losing game a lot of the time.
Well, that's it. It's about being heard at the end of the day. I mean, do you think much about the choppy seas? On the one hand, you've got this fight to keep venues open, but then there's the other part of the argument, which is what good's an open venue if artists can't afford to live to get to the point where they can play the gig? I mean, could you imagine being a new artist today and paying rent and being able to pay for studio time and whatnot? It's becoming a sort of upper class game for bands, at least. If you look at festival lineups next year, there aren't a lot of bands about.
I don't know. We were quite feral. We sort of managed to get up drain pipes and find squats and spaces. Although driving around London today, a lot of those places, they're just not there.
Yeah.
All those crumbling old warehouses, they're all sort of glass and they're sort of glass and steel towers now. So I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have stayed in London. I'd have gone somewhere warmer. And you wouldn't have to worry so much about paying. Although since Brexit, you can't even do that now.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You need a visa. So, yeah, I don't know. I think if you are driven enough, you will just find a way. You know what I mean? But that's not enough, is it? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
If you're talking to a 16-year-old who's bought a guitar, bought a copy of Definitely Maybe or Up the Bracket or whatever people say I am, and thinks, I want to do that. It was obviously easier 20 years ago. What would you say to them?
Just write, keep going, believe in yourself, and just keep writing. That's all you can, because you can have all the dreams, and dreams are great, but you got to bang away. You know what I mean? You got to get your head down and bang away at your guitar and love it and believe in yourself and just keep writing, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Next year, big year. Also, 20 years of the Babyshambles debut. Rumours talk of a reunion.
Yeah, I think it's on the cards. Well, it is on the cards. We will get back together. We will get in a room with the instruments and play through the old songs, and then get on stage and do it. But it's the who and the where and the when really that needs to be worked out.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I think we'll just keep that one on the horizon. You know what I mean? Deal with that next year, because I got before then I got a new collection of songs, which I'm putting out obviously on my own label.
And then you got that mad London show with Supergrass, Soft Play.
Gunnersbury Park Libertines Festival, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
With the Lambrini Girls and Hack Baker and Supergrass.
That's a good day out, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. You know, if you like that sort of thing, yeah. Lovely place as well.
Yeah.
Gunnersbury Park. Some beautiful old oak trees there. Some of the oldest oak trees in the London area.
Yeah.
I mean, that on its own is reason to get down there, isn't it?
Being supported by Supergrass, that must feel heavy.
Yeah, talk about change of. I mean, there was a time like years ago when we were proper whippersnappers that down at Dublin Castle lying, trying to impress girls, telling them that we were going on tour with Supergrass, and then trying to get them back to our basement, and then I'd go out to the phone box and phone the landline pretending to be Supergrass's manager. You know what I mean? This is before we even signed or we even had a bass player or a drummer. And then we ended up supporting them. And now they're supporting us. But I think they might have supported us before. I'm not sure, I might be wrong.
Yeah, but they've been going around closed lying about it to get people back to their pad in Oxford.
Yeah, I remember one time Carl pretended to be a guitarist in Radiohead at the WAG Club. I think one of them was there as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he was talking to these Scandinavian girls saying, yeah, I'm the guitarist in Radiohead. He had all his hair over his head. And she went, I just met your bass player. He's over there. He's like, is that still there, the WAG Club?
I don't know. Where is it?
Is it Wardour Street? It's down in Soho somewhere,
so.
yeah.
There's not a lot of
They used to have
venues
a
in Soho,
night, they used to have one of those proper old indie disco nights called Cigarettes and Alcohol.
Yeah.
And I remember because I used to hand the flyers out at Charing Cross, and in return you'd be allowed to get in to the club.
Yeah.
If you hand out flyers for an hour.
And if you're in Radiohead.
Yeah. So we would do that. We came a cropper a few times, like, if you're in Radiohead, how come you're handing out flyers for the club sort of thing? But there's always a way around it. And
When was the last time you lied about who you were?
I do it a lot. I find myself in airports quite a lot, and some people come up to you. It's really rude, this, but they come up to you and say, "Who are you?" Because maybe they'll know your face but not know their name. But how rude is that? Who are you?
Unless you're security,
So-
then it's all right.
Sometimes I go, well, "Who the fuck are you?" And sometimes I'll just, I don't know, I'll go into some imaginative spiel, and I'll be a a well-known terrorist, or I don't know, something. But I'll be something, never a terrorist, no.
Yeah. And that Gunnersbury Park gig, is that going to be like the victory lap of the All Quiet on the Eastern Esplanade campaign? Do you reckon that's a full stop?
I don't know. I think there's more to it than that. I think there's quite a few, maybe not so much in the UK or England as it used to be, but I think there's a few festivals around next year, France and Spain and Australia. We're going to Australia. I don't know, maybe. Hopefully we'll have the strings, the strings and the dancers and the proper backdrop, which for me always makes it a special occasion. Anyway, on this last tour we did, there was only a few shows. I think the London show and the Manchester shows. The London shows and the Manchester shows where we had the full, the full shebang.
Yeah.
We could actually afford to get the strings, and all the venue was the right size to have the full backdrop. So hopefully we'll have all that. Yeah, we'll get backing vocals on and all that. Yeah.
And then have you and Carl spoke about after the next record?
No, not really. I seen him last night. We did the Joe Wiley Christmas thing, but we haven't talked about it. No. There's a lot of ideas about though. There's a lot of ideas about it. We didn't really have much time, but during sound checks during the last tour, there's a few strong ideas, which is normally the starting point. What's going on? What have we got? We never really just say, right, let's meet in the studio with a complete blank, empty canvas with no ideas. We've never done that. Maybe we should try that. Mm. But I don't know if I speak for both of us. Maybe I speak more for myself when I say that I'm a bit wary of that.
Yeah.
For someone who's well known for being supposedly chaotic and that, I like to be sort of well prepared in my own way. Maybe it's my sort of my early Cub Scout training,
Yeah. Dib.
Dub. I promised to do my best to serve my Queen and country. What was it? I promised to do my best to serve Queen and country and God. Not to tell lies. Take money for the communion or something.
And it ended with everyone saying, we will do our best.
We will do our best. Promise to serve the Queen and country and God.
How are you getting by on that promise?
I know, I'm all right. I've made my peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And personally, is there any way you'd really like the next Libertines record to go?
Yeah, maybe. Do you know what? I think I think like some of those like early 70s Stevie Wonder's album, with that really jangly, jazzy guitar sound, and a Wurlitzer, or a Rhodes, I think if we had the right song, could do something like that, something really uplifting and melodic, but with minors and ninths, and I think Gary would like that. And yeah, I'd like to do that. It's just some Motowny drum sounds and Rhodes and Wurlitzers. But that's just one song. I don't know about a whole record.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you have an itching for a new Babyshambles record when you guys get back together, or do you think it will just be some shows? And
I've got no idea. I wrote a new song the other day though, actually, that I think would really work as a Shambles song. Yeah. So who knows?
How are you feeling like getting back with the Shambles with like, because obviously the Shambles were the more chaotic outfit in many ways.
It's a long way off yet. Do you know what I mean? What
Yeah.
are we? December 2025. So no, we're December 24.
Yeah.
So it's going to be next autumn. So we'll see. I don't know. Who knows? A long way off.
Yeah.
But it'll probably be coming around like that.
Yeah. So the Libertines gonna have a Christmas party, or was that last night?
I think we had one, really. I think, no, but I'm going to give them all a bell. And I can't see it happening, really, unless we all get down to Margate. But it's been a very busy time, I think, for the different things going on with different people's families. So I'm praying for everyone that, you know, when you lose a parent or you lose someone close to you, Christmas can be an even harder time. So I'm just praying for everyone, and I look forward to seeing everyone when possible. You know, yeah.
Any New Year's resolutions, or do you not doing?
I don't know what you mean really by that. I do make resolutions, but really just to stay off the, you know, to keep on this path that I'm on. You know, to stay off the hard things, and you know, and be there for the babby and get this solo album out and see what the world thinks of it, and get out and play it. Yeah, that's it. See what happens. There's so much chaos in the world at the moment. I mean, it's still horrible in Ukraine. It's horrible in Gaza, and we'll see what's happening in Syria. That could go very wrong. Even though it's great, Assad's gone. Who knows what comes next?
Pete, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Andrew.
Happy New Year.
And
you
a
guys,
apple
of
in your
course.
ear.
Say goodbye, Gladys.